I do honestly feel like there's more to this story. We won't do a deep dive today. I know. But let's kind of run through it real quick. And I'd love to throw something out there and get y'all's thoughts in the comments. So we'll start off with this one. This is from AP News. Western leaders visit Kiev and pledge military support against Russia on the war's third anniversary. Third anniversary still going on. Just throwing that out there. Let's see. Ukraine on Monday marked the bleakest anniversary yet of its war against Russia, the Russian invasion. With the country's forces under severe pressure on the battlefield and the U.S. President Donald Trump's administration apparently embracing the Kremlin in a reversal of American policy. That's not what's happening. He's trying to stop the war. He said that when he was interviewed. You guys remember on CNN from Curled Lip. I can't do it. Her and Adam Schiff both have that furrowed lip thing. I don't. I think you got to be like, what do they call them, a wasp, like an uppity white person, and that ain't me. So I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Maybe it's because I put too much season on my food. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's not what he's doing. 4D chess, 5D chess, whatever. There's more at play here. All right, let's keep going. The 3-year milestone drew more than a dozen Western leaders to Kiev for commemorative events in a conspicuous show of support. They warned of the war's wider implications for global security and vowed to keep providing billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine as uncertainty deepens over the U.S. commitment to help. Washington did not send any senior official to the occasion. Hours after the anniversary observances, Trump said he believed that Russia President Vladimir Putin would accept European peacekeepers in Ukraine as part of a potential deal to end the war. Separately, Putin suggested that European countries could be part of a settlement. But he also said that he had not discussed resolving the conflict in detail with Trump. Fourth year fighting could be pivotal as Trump uses his return to office to press for peace. The autocrats around the world are watching very carefully whether there's any impunity if you violate international borders or invade your neighbor, or if there is a true deterrence. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen warned in Kiev. Some observers say Russian success in Ukraine could embolden China's ambitions, just as Moscow claims that Ukraine is rightfully Russian territory. China claims the self-governing island of Taiwan as its own. North Korea and Iran have also aided Russia's war effort. So here's some thoughts on all of this, right? Trump's like, I'm going to quit funding this stupid war. You guys aren't going to win. Let's try to find peace. Let's stop the killing. Stop the dying. Let's get a resolution. Putin's like, cool, I'm down with it, but I want something because I'm going to win this war if we keep going. There's no question about it. I'm going to kill more people, take more land, and there won't be a Ukraine. It will be part of Russia. So if you want me to stop, give me a little something, we'll call it quits. That's the way I'm basically understanding it to be. And Trump's like, you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's figure it out. Maybe Ukraine can give this and this up, and Ukraine's over there like, no, we don't want to do that. We want to keep fighting. Which I think is dumb. But here's a couple things that are happening here. Again, this is a multifaceted story to me, right? So we got Trump's side of it. He's like, let's stop the war. Europe is starting to step up more because we've been doing so much of the heavy lifting and the funding. Not that they haven't contributed, but it's in their backyard, right? You would think like, okay, we need to take better care of our people here and step up to the plate, do more. So now they're kind of being forced to do that because Trump's like, I'm out. So good in that regard, I guess, right? The other thing that can't help but pop in my mind is we already know that Hunter Biden worked in Ukraine on the border of Burisma, had no qualifications to do so, but he was making millions of dollars there. It was rumored. I don't know if it was ever confirmed. Probably should have done a little research on this one, but my mind's just going, so bear with me. was like somebody related to Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or whomever, like had ties to Ukraine and sitting on boards and making all this money. And apparently Ukraine is just like this great land for laundering money to political figures or maybe other elitists. I don't know. But it just seems odd that like it is so pivotal to all these world leaders that Ukraine, of all places, Ukraine, which is not a democratic society, Ukraine, which has gone after Christians, Ukraine that has harbored Nazis, like literal actual Nazis. Like, we're supporting this country so heavily. It's almost like if they were to fall and Russia was to gain access to everything, it would be a huge leak of information that could rip a huge a tear right down the seam of all these relationships and expose all this stuff, kind of like the Epstein list that I don't think has come out yet, but it should. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's not just about we have to stop Russia. No, I think it's more than that. I think we got to cover our tracks. And Ukraine is holding us, hostage or blackmailing us, until we help them out enough to win. Otherwise, they may, give away our secrets. All that money's not going to the war. Zelensky's keeping some. Other people are keeping some, allegedly. Let me say that for legal purposes. Again, under the microscope now that I've hit the 1,000 subs. So I'm sure everything's going to be getting nitpicked apart. But my point is, this war just needs to end. Plain and simple. And we got one guy trying to do it. And we got the rest of the world trying to keep it going. Pissing me off a little bit because they have no regard on the others' lives. It's not them. It's others. It's the Ukraine soldiers. There's going to be more of them die. Citizens even, maybe. Who knows? Land is going to be lost in great numbers. And, they could just end it. One more article on this one, then we'll move on. This is from Gateway Pundit. It says, Britain falls in line with Trump's demands, will increase military spending and cut foreign aid. Let's see. It says, the United Kingdom is falling in line with President Donald Trump's demand that European countries pay their fair share on defense. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced on Tuesday that his government would raise its military spending to 2.5% of GDP by 2027 and to 3% by the end of the next government's term. This government will begin the biggest sustained increase in defense spending since the end of the Cold War. We must change our national security posture because a generational challenge demands a generational response. The Labour leader added that the increase would be partly funded by reducing the foreign aid budget by 0.5 to 0.3%. That's so much. Explaining that spending increases can only be funded through hard choices. At times like this, the defense and security of the British people must always come first. Isn't that weird to hear something like that? The British Prime Minister say, we got to take care of the British people, or like the American president saying, we got to take care of the American people, America first, right? It's only divisive to people who want a one world government. I read a book that spoke about a one world government. You guys might have read that book too. It doesn't end well for a lot of people. It's great for some, but yeah, a lot of signs pointing to where we're heading, and it ain't good. It ain't good. So it's great to see that Trump is, one, being an example, and two, I don't want to say being a bully, but almost bullying these other countries to step up their game, because it's like, look, y'all are relying on the United States for so much. Our money's funding stuff. Our soldiers are these soldiers that are going to be fighting these wars for you guys. Our minerals, our sources here. You got to step up to the plate or we're going to cut you out. Well, you can't do that. You can't leave the UN. You can't leave behind the WHO. You can't leave it. We can leave it all. America doesn't need any of these other countries for like what they need us for. for protection or for resources. I mean, yeah, let's keep the door open for fair trade, but we don't have to have that close of a relationship with these other countries. It's a peacekeeping kind of thing. But if you want to be a dick about it and not pull your fair share of the weight, then why would we? Why would we carry that extra burden? And it's happened for so long. And Trump did it last time, and he's doing it again. And people are getting in line, and they need to get in line. Now, look, I'll be real with you. I'm not the biggest fan or care whatsoever about the Gulf of America or do anything with the Panama. Well, Panama Canal, it's a different story there. I get that one. But like Greenland or whatever, it's like, I appreciate the America First mentality and the push to take care of us. What Doge is doing, what everybody who's what Tulsi just did, firing folks. Did Cash go in and fire people yet? I can't remember. But they're clearing house with a lot of people that have the useless jobs. And I'm not one to celebrate people losing their jobs. But you got to work. And if you ain't working, and it's a position that doesn't need to be there, cut it. I'm fine with that. Look, a lot of people don't understand this, and I get that because we're not taught to be entrepreneurs or business minded or anything like that. We're taught to be followers. I hate to say it, slaves, indentured servants, whatever, listen to your boss, your teacher, your whoever, and just follow and have no thought of your own. That's what programming is for, right? All the legacy media has been programming us forever. So we're just supposed to be followers. What happens is when I don't even know if you want to call it red pilled, but when you wake up and you start thinking on your own and you start thinking about like how did things start out? Okay, everybody was their own business owner, and eventually people started working and networking together, and then corporations grew, and yada, 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 yada. So you start thinking like a business owner. What makes sense? What doesn't make sense? Trim the fat. Makes sense. If you're not profitable, you're going to fail. Unless you're the government, right? And then you just print more money and you make everybody else fail because you're making us poorer and poorer. And that sucks. So having somebody up there, not just one, but multiple people in that arena that have that business owner mindset, that think like an entrepreneur, they can say, okay, it doesn't make sense to spend billions of dollars on this if there's no return on it of any kind. Not just a financial return, but it's not bettering anyone's life. These people's jobs aren't doing anything except for those individuals in those jobs. Cut it, they can go find another job. Mass deportations, get them out of here. That'll open up some jobs right there. Yin yang, baby. Look, I get it. My heart goes out to anybody losing jobs. But the left wasn't so sympathetic when like people with the Keystone pipeline was shut down, like day 1, day 2, whatever it was with Biden. They said, learn to code. I'm more sympathetic than that. I hate that these people are losing their jobs, their livelihoods, and it's fairly abrupt. You may have just moved or sold a house and now you can't buy one because of the way the economy is. Thanks, Biden. And I get that. There's different situations for different folks, different strokes for different folks. In fact, I live near an Air Force base, and they're talking about what's going to happen to them. And again, my heart goes out to these people. Some of them are very, very hardworking, but I hope that the hardworking people that need to be there will continue to have jobs, and the ones that work one day's worth of effort and stretch it out into 5 days, those positions can probably be combined and jobs can be lost in that sense. And I wouldn't feel terrible about it. I'm just thinking, and I say that as someone who's footing the bill. When you think about it, right? Because we are federal funds fund all this stuff, and the federal government makes nothing. It's our tax dollars. So I'd love to get out of debt as a nation. I'd love to personally quit paying so damn much in taxes. What do you guys think? Do you think there's power moves that are happening here to try to keep Ukraine in the fight to cover up some stuff? Do you think Trump's avenue that he's taken is going to bring the world closer together and get them more in line with their responsibilities? Or do you think he's being more divisive by doing what he's doing? And what do you think his intent is? I mean, do you think he's trying to stop the killing and stop the war? I mean, I do, but Let me know what you think down in the comments. I would genuinely love to know any feedback on this.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.